Hello, my name is John Reese, and I'm going to be demoing the Ticker application. The application itself is primarily written in JavaScript. I'm using NuGet Package Manager as my package management solution. On the left here you can see my packages. I'm using Babel so that I can write ES 2015, ES 2016 JavaScript and have it be supported on older browsers. I'm using jQuery for some syntactic sugar and just ease of use when using JavaScript, as well as jQuery SOAP so that I can actually make SOAP requests with JavaScript. JSDOM and JSDOM Global, as well as Mocha, to be able to inject the DOM into my unit test so that I can actually test my application to make sure that it's correct. And then Webpack for all of my bundling and JavaScript build needs. So as stated previously, I'm using Mocha for unit tests, and we can verify this by just typing in npm test, which is just a npm test script that I have set up. And we can see here on the output that I have one test. Ticker information should be set after callback. I just have one test because the application itself is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's just 3 web service calls, and once we receive that data, we want to make sure that the data is represented on the DOM correctly. And that's what this test is doing. It creates a bunch of spans. It passes in a JSON object called data, calls my ticker info callback method, and then it asserts that all of the DOM elements have that value. So for the application itself, it is the ticker application. It's an application in which you can supply a stock ticker symbol and get some information back about it. So before I start that, I need to actually start my custom web service. This is a web service that I wrote in Web API. It has 2 endpoints, HTTP post, HTTP get. The post allows you to post previous searches, as well as the get to get all of the searches that you have done, limit of 5. And this is just a way to store history of all the searches that you've done. So let's go ahead and start this service up. It's just a blank screen because, again, there's no UI. It's just a back-end web service. And then if I go to the application itself, we can start typing in some tickers. We can do AMD for advanced micro devices. We can see it pop up in the company, as well as the open, high, and low prices for that stock, as well as the logo for that company. And then here is the custom web service results. This web service that you see here, this is the SOAP web service. This logo web service is a REST web service, and the previous searches is another web service that I wrote again, which leverages REST. The overall UI here, the look and feel, is all leveraging Bootstrap. As far as the back-end implementation, we can go into the JavaScript here. And for the get logo, this is the image that we see on the that we saw on the right-hand side. We have an API key as well as some data to pass to the web service. So I had to sign up for this web service, and we're passing in the URL, the data, and then a callback once that web service has been made. For the SOAP web service, it's a bit more complicated. We have to state that we're using SOAP version 1.2, the method that we're using for that SOAP web service, and then the associated namespace as well as the data. We also need to do some XML to JSON just so that the JavaScript can parse and get the data out of the data that's returned, because the data that's returned is in XML. And then my custom web service, again, we have 2 endpoints. We have a post and we have a get. So these 2 are fairly straightforward. I also wanted to point out that if we look into Fiddler over here, and we go to capture traffic, and we go back to the application, and let's type in, say, Microsoft to get another web service call here, we can pull up Fiddler and we can actually see the web traffic here. This is the stock quote web service call. This is the SOAP version. We also have the get logo web service here. And then we have 2 web service calls to localhost, which is my custom web service. One is going to be to add the previous search, and then one is to get the previous searches, because we need to be able to re-render the screen once we apply that search. So that is the Ticker application. Thanks for watching.